Good afternoon, everybody. It's Miss Morgan from the Williston Community Library, bringing you today's day 3 of the 12 Days of Holidays. So today we are going to make reindeer and Santa puppets. So let's go ahead and get started. If you got the kit from us, it will have come with everything you'll need. So popsicle sticks, colored paper, and glue, and googly eyes are what you're going to need for this. All right? Alright, and you're also going to need some scissors. So what you're going to do first is you are going to cut your red piece of paper into a triangle. And your brown piece of paper into a triangle as well. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you are going to glue your popsicle stick onto your paper. So for the red triangle, you're going to have the triangle facing up, and for the brown triangle, you are going to have the triangle facing down. Alright, so we're going to let those sit for a second to dry, and while we're letting them dry, you're going to go ahead and with the brown, I'm going to fold it in half, and what you're going to do is you're going to make your reindeer's antlers. So I'm going to cut a rectangle and then just like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to glue your antlers on. And so the reason that I folded my paper in half is so that I have two of the same. So then you're going to go ahead and you're going to glue your antlers on. And while that is drying, you're also going to cut out some ears for your reindeer. So I cut mine kind of like a lemon shape. And then they are connected, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim them quick. And I'm going to glue them on the side here. Alright, so here is my reindeer so far. Now I'm going to glue on the googly eyes. And I'm going to take a little piece of the red and I'm going to cut out a circle for my reindeer's nose. I'm making Rudolph. And I'm just going to glue that on as well. And then our reindeer is complete. So here is our reindeer puppet. And then you're going to make your Santa puppet. So what you're going to do for your Santa puppet is we're going to flip him over. We're going to take a piece of white paper and we're going to trim it. And this is going to make the face. If you'd like to color your Santa, you are more than welcome. I'm just going to round it out a little bit so that we can make his beard, because this is going to be his face and his beard. So what you're going to do is you're going to glue the googly eyes onto this. The white piece of paper. And then I'm going to make his beard kind of fluffy. So I'm just going to do some squiggly lines. And then I'm going to glue this on, and you'll want to leave some at the top because that is going to be the hat. Oops. And then I'm going to make just a little half circle here. And that's going to be where his mouth is. So I'm going to actually take a pencil and draw a line where his face is. And his mouth is under his beard. So there is my Santa, except I'm going to make a circle for on the tip of his hat as well. And just put a little dot of glue and put the tip of his hat on. So there is my Santa and my reindeer puppets. So let's go ahead and read our story. Now we are going to go ahead and we are going to read our story. So for today's story, we have Santa Claus Has a Busy Night. Santa Claus Has a Busy Night, written by Lynne Bradbury, illustrated by Jon Davis. At the North Pole, Santa Claus has been busy for weeks. He had received hundreds of letters from boys and girls, all telling him what presents they wanted for Christmas. He had sorted out letters and made a long, long list. And then, on the other side, he had written the children's names and where they lived so that he would know where to go. And look, the list includes dolls, bikes, puzzles, books, clothes, boats, planes, paints, watches, radios, computers, trains, games, skates, pencils, and balloons. At last, it was Christmas Eve, the night before Christmas. Santa Claus had been even busier that day, filling his sacks and loading them onto his sleigh. He fed his reindeer and got them ready to pull the heavy load. Rudolph, with his bright red nose, was at the front to lead the others. Then Santa went to get ready. First, he put on his red trousers. Then, he put on his red coat. Next, he put on his red hat. And last, he put on his big black boots. Soon, all the children would be going to bed. Santa hoped that they would all be asleep by the time he arrived. He had so many places to visit. It was time to go. And look, there's all of the little children sleeping and waiting for Santa to come. Santa Claus drove his sleigh up into the sky, through the clouds, and back down over sleeping towns and cities. Down to the rooftops, where Santa stopped his sleigh. Then Santa took one of his heavy sacks and climbed down the first chimney. He filled the children's stockings with presents from his sacks. Every time Santa left a present, he checked a name off of his list. And look, there's the presents. Some people left Santa cookies or a piece of cake. He was very pleased. Climbing up and down chimneys made him hungry. Being Santa Claus wasn't an easy job. There were houses where chimneys were too small, and houses with no chimneys at all. Some children were sick and in the hospital, and others were staying at a different house. But Santa didn't forget anyone. And look at how tiny that chimney is. Do you think he's going to be able to get down it? I don't think so. He climbed hundreds of stairs and tiptoed in and out of dark rooms to leave his presents. And all the time, Rudolph and all the other reindeer pulled the sleigh from place to place. Santa Claus went to places that were cold and snowy. Brrr! And look at all of that snow. He went to places that were wet and windy, and once he nearly lost his hat. He flew over high mountains, sandy deserts, and the oceans. On and on through the night sky flew Santa Claus. He even went out into hot countries where it was summer and not winter. Phew! In those places, Santa wished he could take off his thick red coat and his big furry boots. Christmas was going to be a very hot day for the children there. And look at how warm he looks. Finally, Santa Claus put a check next to the last name on his list. He had finished. All the sacks were empty. It would be daylight soon, and children everywhere would be waking up. "Time to go home, Rudolph," he said. When Santa got back to the North Pole, he fed his tired reindeer and put them to bed. Then he went into his house, took off his hat, his coat, and his big boots, and sat in his big chair by the fire. Now it was Christmas Day. Santa Claus thought about all the places he'd visited. By now the children would be awake. He hoped they liked their presents. Some children hadn't been given all the things they'd asked for. Santa just couldn't carry anymore. Some children would remember to say thank you, and others would forget. Oh well. After his busy night, Santa Claus went to sleep. But there's one thing we've forgotten in the story. Who delivers presents to Santa Claus? The end. So who do you think delivers presents to Santa Claus? Who knows? All right, so that is going to be the end of day 3 of the 12 days of holidays. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.